Okay. Let's just give our audience a few minutes to come in and settle down. They're probably going to have some water, some wine, some champagne. It is that kind of weather today, you know. Yes.
I seem to be the only one without a drink.
Do you not have drink with you?
Yeah. When Derek's speaking, I'll disappear for a few moments.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. So the audience are coming in, and I know there are quite a few people who've registered. And we're also live stream on Facebook, so this is wonderful. And it's going to be pretty exciting, an amazing topic. And we've had lots of questions for the last week and a half, so it's going to be great.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good.
Oh. Hi, Venetia.
Hey, Michael. How are you?
Good, looking amazing.
Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Rochelle, I think it's Rochelle.
Oh, sorry.
Rochelle. Rochelle.
Hi.
I had my name somewhere.
Is it Rochelle and Sue?
Yes, Rochelle.
Rochelle.
And Beverly.
I'm Beverly. Let me compliment you guys on your hair. I love your hair.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love it, love it, love it.
So audience, you see all our panelists are complimenting each other. It's all about, you know, embracing your beautiful African features and
Self-love.
yes.
Self-love, very important.
Self-love, Michael.
Absolutely, it's all about self-love. And if we're not here to promote each other and remind each other that we're beautiful, then no one will. And it just so happens that this afternoon's web talk is all about that. You will get all the information you need to know about hair because we have some of the legends in the Afro hair business, Afro hair and beauty business right here in this web talk session this afternoon, guys. So you're in for quite a treat. We have some figures, some public figures who are doing amazing stuff in terms of advocating for self-love, hair and identity. We have an amazing, huge Nigerian actress, model, humanitarian here joining us, who is ferocious about encouraging young women to embrace their natural beauty. She does everything, guys. I mean, from presenting to reality TV to taking on the big screens, music videos. She started in the music industry, blew it up, still is there, yes. And so, but before I go into saying all that, I just want to share one thing with you guys. So please bear with me as I share my screen with you, and we'll come right back. Here we go.
I ain't gonna feel bad for you if you fall for this side of me and you get this, because that's only like 0.036% of the time. I mean, I do look like that, so I'm not gonna call myself a catfish because I can look like that sometimes, but it's a lot of work. So I ain't gonna feel bad for you if you fall for this, but you get this. Like, bro, you really expect me to look like that all the time? Do you understand the work?
Can't see the video.
The
That's
work,
what Andrea
bro.
said.
Brother.
So panelists, you guys might not have been able to see, but the audience got to see that video.
Okay.
So that video just now that the audience saw is by the incredible, beautiful, immensely talented Beverly Osu.
Yeah.
What we will do from here, please, can you start with introducing yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all and nice to see you guys. My name is Beverly. I'm an actor and model and self-care enthusiast. Well, that's me from Nigeria. And we're here to talk about self-love, which is very important, right? Like, I actually indulge myself in self-care and self-love because it's a mindset stuff. It's everything starts with your mindset. So, and nobody can tell you you're this or that if you don't believe it yourself. So I think self-love and how people see you starts from within. It's how you see yourself first. So yeah, that's my belief.
Thank you, Beverly. And from Beverly, we're going on to these two incredible men who started the company called Hair X. They are legend in the Afro hair and beauty business, guys. I came across them when I went to an exhibition at the Museum of London. If you don't know them, you will know them. And for all of you Afro hair aficionados there who are really the influencers, you want to know these men. And before I go into too much, I will leave it to them to talk about, to introduce themselves and talk about their companies. Rudy Page.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Michael, for those great praises to Derek and myself. So yes, folks, I go back nearly 40 years. Can you believe it? I worked for Dyke & Dryden. And at the time, that was the largest black company in Europe, importing hair products from the US. So I traveled and met all of the big boys of the time, M&M, Soft Sheen, all of those sort of big brands. And I won a trip to Atlanta and visited the Bronner Brothers show. And Mr. Dyke said that we need our own show here in the UK. And I came back and put together Afro Hair and Beauty. And over the last 40 years, I think virtually everybody who loves their hair has visited Afro Hair and Beauty at one time or other. So I coined those three words, Afro Hair and Beauty. Now, if I'd known about what intellectual property was 40 years ago, I would have really registered those three words, but unfortunately I didn't. And so fast forward, we've done a lot of work in the industry. Then in the 1980s, later on in the 80s, I came up with a Hair X idea. And it was a great hair show in the West End. And it was led by the hairdressers, the fashion designers. And then teamed up with Derek in the last couple of years. We've known each other all those years since he was at Splinters. But last couple of years, we got together and relaunched the Hair X brand. But most importantly, put together our own brand called Sheer Moist. And based on the traditions of we know your hair and care. It has a great ecosystem. So we talk about must, we make the product, our community use the product, our community should be selling the product, and our community should be training the next generation, MUST. And we do lots of events all around the country, lots of influencers, online events, and we run sessions for young people as well. So speaking in supplementary schools, things like that. And yeah. We do our best.
Well, audience, what Rudy's not also telling you is that Rudy's also responsible for bringing the first hair shows to the UK. So he is the man. Back in 1987, was that, Rudy? I'm not trying to age, Rudy.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm trying to, give you some props there.
Thank you. If you can go to hairx.uk and click on Afro Hair and Beauty, the logo's on there, and you'll see the original show. And it actually also proves that I had hair once as well, because I've got a curly perm.
Okay, but obviously the curly perm has gone into something else, but we won't get into that right now. There's a need. There is a need to have this conversation, even for people like us, Rudy. Don't worry.
I know.
Have this conversation.
Trust me, in the younger days, that was a very good look.
Yes, of course. Of course. So Rudy's business partner, guys, is Derek Dakota Clement. And Rudy said something just very, very important, that Derek worked at Splinters. Splinters, for those of you who don't know, it was and is, well, it no longer exists, but was the only black hair salon in the center of London in Mayfair. And it just so happens that Derek Dakota Clement was the protege of the owner of Splinters. And Derek, I will leave it to you now to introduce yourself properly.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Rudy. Just to add to Rudy's synopsis. Now, what's interesting is Splinters was perhaps the most pioneering salon in the world since the Black Tower. Now, the Black Tower belonged to Madam C.J. Walker's daughter back in the day. Now, what's interestingly enough, it might be hard to comprehend this, but Winston Isaacs was also a protege of Vidal Sassoon, and at the same time created this magnificent salon for Black people at a time when we didn't couldn't visualize, couldn't imagine, couldn't even comprehend that there were a black salon in the West End in the 70s, in the heart of Mayfair. So Winston comes under the legend, the title legend. Michael, we have to rephrase it. Winston would be the legend. We are the pioneers. We are pioneering.
Yeah.
And then there are the veterans.
Yeah,
So,
the guardians of the legacy.
That's right. That's right. So it's important, guys, to understand that we've been there before. We've been there 1,000 years ago. We've been there thousands of years before that, and we're gonna still be there. This moment is a rebirth as far as I'm concerned. And I learned this trade over 35, 40 years ago at Splinters, and it's as relevant today as it was then. Because we were doing some amazing things. We were literally giving Black women a sense of being. We talked about self-love, self-awareness. We were doing all of that back in the day. So guys, so Splinters, if you don't know, was a pioneering salon over 40 years ago. The name's still around. We trained many, many hairdressers throughout the world. And the name is as relevant today as it was then. So that's my introduction. And Rudy and I, of course, we crossed paths. While he was manufacturing, we were doing the creation at a time when it's almost virtually impossible to remember that those two brands existed, Dyke and Dryden and Splinters.
And well, on top of that, guys, because these guys, you know, when you've been in the industry for so long and so accomplished, sometimes you forget these things. And sometimes it takes platforms like these and hosts like myself to really try to give them more props.
Absolutely.
Derek, just to give you a few little things, a little bit in there. Derek also has his own academy. But in addition to that, and Derek used to also live in New York, and he used to be the manager of P. Diddy, Puff Daddy's salon there, barbershop there. He's worked with the likes of Patti LaBelle. And Derek, can you tell us a couple of them, a couple other high-profile celebrities that you work with, please?
Well, Michael, if you just go back in time a little bit, 70s, 80s, 90s, every Black celebrity, every who was whoever they were, from your kings and your queens, your Nigerian princes and princesses, you have your lords and your ladies, whoever they were, football, cricket, they all passed our salon back in the day. The 3 Degrees, Diana Ross, Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson, Teddy Penny, every single celebrity, that was a shop to go to. And we did everyone, Lavissy Fred, Billy Ocean. I could go on and on and on, Michael. Patti, you mentioned Patti Boulay, a regular client of ours, Grace Kennedy, loads of Black celebrities, Paul Boateng, for instance, Diane Abbott. All these customers passed through our doors, and those are all my customers, basically. Those are the people whose hair I did, and still do, many of them still today.
Wow, incredible, guys. And Derek mentioned someone who's very, a very famous, iconic Nigerian theater actress here, Patti Boulay. I've worked with Patti Boulay, an incredible woman who continues to do incredible work in promoting Nigeria and Africa on a whole. You also mentioned something that's so important, Derek, and that is rebirth. And this is the segue into introducing Rochelle Brooksford and Venetia Greensword. Rochelle Brooksford, guys, for those of you who don't know Rochelle, she's also an incredible, I've known Rochelle since 2006, 7, something like that. And over the years, I've just seen her growth, and her passion for exactly what Derek mentioned about self-love and really promoting, yes, and really promoting, encouraging women of African heritage to embrace their identity and every manifestation of their identity, including here. She has been an advisor for many different documentaries and brands, but I'm going to leave it to Rochelle to tell you a little bit more about her and what it is that she does. Rochelle?
Okay, I feel like I'm going to get told off. I'm sure I'm going to get told off by the end of this, but but essentially, I'm a blogger. So my online name, Crystal Afro, that's what I'm known as a blogger, Crystal Afro, and I began the blog, theunitedkingdom.com. in 2010 or 11. It's either 2010 or I think about 2010. And basically that was when I was finishing uni, and it really became apparent to me that I had a lot of self-reflection going on about what I was representing in the world with the way that I wore my hair, but not just the way I wore it, but my attitude towards my own hair. And that was the time when I really decided I had to address that. And as I addressed that, that's when I started the blog to go with it. And I was scanning around for blogs about natural hair in the UK. And there were some, but there weren't loads. That like social media, we've like, all of us here, we've seen how social media has just changed, erupted, and that it's just completely changed that. It's just incredible. It wasn't as fast and there wasn't as much thing. Can you believe a time, like I started blogging before Instagram. Now Instagram feels like normal. But back then, so that's why I started the blog, basically to document my hair journey and to share information and experiences as a natural hair in the UK. Just things that are very specific to us in the UK, where it's like products that we could or couldn't get, whether it's events that were going on, because there weren't as many of those at one point. So I just wanted to have that kind of hub, that kind of place where I could share what the experience was and what was going on there. And then as a result of that, the community's grown, the things that we've seen have grown, more hair events happened, and obviously being able to be a part of those and be on panels like this, and over time, brands, amazing brands that we've seen come up. Unfortunately, we've even seen like a lot of them go, but it's been amazing to see so many Black women get their business cap on and just dive into this whole world of natural hair and just embracing who we are, and just seeing people's like you were saying before, Beverly, about seeing people's mindset change about themselves and how they view themselves. That has been the most amazing thing. And and then one of the, I guess what like Michael was saying, one of the large parts of that was being part of the Origins of the Afro comb exhibition, which I helped to put on at Fitzwilliam Museum in Cambridge. That was in 2013. That was absolutely incredible. It's kind of placed in two museums. So it's a Fitzwilliam Museum was one part, and that was a lot of the archaeological part, looking at Afro combs from like over 6,000 years ago and bringing it forward here into like present time. And then the other side of it was like a artistic installation. So it had the barber shop, the hair shop, and the 1970s home. And it was an amazing thing to be a part of and to consult on and share with people. That was just incredible. So basically my basic explanation is, yes, I've been a hair blogger and an advocate and enthusiast for natural hair and Black women loving themselves and feeling proud and just being seen with our natural hair has been what I've basically been about. That was the main purpose of like stepping into blogging.
Thank you, Rochelle. And we have Venrisha, guys, because oftentimes, you know, women who of African heritage and lots of the women have hair that, you know, where they feel like, my gosh, this hair is out of control. What can I do with this hair? Oh, besides two big pigtail or two cornrows. Well, guess what? Ladies, gentlemen, you guys need to listen to, because you might need to help your girlfriends out or your friends, your sister out, or mom out. We have this online platform called Natural Hair Loving, and our very special panelist, Venetia Greenswood, started this online platform to help you all out, and Venetia will tell you more about that.
Yes, so hey, my name is Venetia Greensword, and I am a natural hair enthusiast and social media manager and consultant. And really, I've just been in love with natural hair for about 10 years now, and I've experimented with it in like different ways. I've had a blog, I've tried doing YouTube, different things with hair. But around 2 years ago, I decided, you know what? I'm going to start this Instagram page, where it started initially, because I wanted to share more hairstyles with people and make it more common for people to see how beautiful hair is that looks like mine. And at the time, there was a focus for going natural and everything, but still there was more of a, people were loving more like curlier hair, maybe mixed race textured hair. And for the people who had tightly coiled hair, more Afro textured hair, it was like, it wasn't really shown as much. And I really wanted to share more images that looks like that. So that is why I started the Natural Hair Loving platform. And we just share a lot of daily inspiration. We're kind of pushing the message that your hair is beautiful. Here are different ways to style your hair and take care of your hair. Here are some tips for you. And that's what we do. So daily we push images and videos for everyone so you can help to see how to care for your hair. And also off the back of that, people wanted more information. So we started the blog, the Natural Hair Loving website and blog, to give people more information. And also we really want to push for more accessories that are made specifically for Black hair in mind. So we launched our silk scrunchies, because if you know about silk for Black hair, for, you know, head scarves, for sleeping with a pillowcase, silk is just the best thing for our hair. So we launched starting with our silk scrunchies, and we hope to expand for more products for Afro hair, but that's where we are right now.
Thank you so much, Venerisha. And guys, all of that, we'll be able to talk more about all of those things that that Venerisha, Rochelle, Beverly, Rudy, and Derek talked about. I showed a video at the very beginning that apparently you guys didn't get to see, but guess what? This is a great segue to really show that video again. It's already queued up. I will share my screen and we will play that video now. Can you all see the screen?
I ain't gonna feel bad for you if you fall for this side of me and you get this, because that's only like 0.036% of the time. I mean, I do look like that, so I'm not gonna call myself a catfish, because I can look like that sometimes, but it's a lot of work. So I ain't gonna feel bad for you if you fall for this, but you get this. Like, bro, you really expect me to look like that all the time? Do you understand the work? The work, bro, brother.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the beautiful Beverly Osu, who is, as I said before in the very beginning, she came on board in spite of her very demanding schedule and receiving lots of telephone calls. Even, you know, as we're talking, she's like, oh my God, but she really wanted to be here to do that. That was the incredible Beverly Osu, encouraging, again, women, Black women who are dealing with the pressures of having to living up to a very European standard. And she knows all about that, working in the industry that she works in. She's an incredible actress and model, humanitarian presenter in Nigeria. And she's really branching out, taking on the world by storm. And so I wanted, one of my first questions I want to direct straight to Beverly, because Beverly, you, oftentimes you're having to, your hair, your beautiful natural hair. Guys, you see how beautiful she is? I mean, my gosh, stunning. She sent a video earlier, no makeup on, wash face realness, beautiful, okay? And but Beverly, you understand the pressures to try to live up to a certain standard and having to fall into the status quo of having your weaves and hair extensions and all of that. And by the way, guys, we are certainly not bashing anyone who wear weaves and hair extension, because all of that we'll be talking about and how to choose the right one. This is why Derek and Rudy is going to help us, especially Derek, and letting us know what to do about that. But Beverly, tell us about that in terms of how you balance keeping and making sure that you promote your natural hair and your beautiful Afrocentric beauty, and having to live up to the standards that the entertainment industry puts on you.
Okay, first of all, you get very confused on how you want to, who you want to be and your identity, because like it's a gradual process. So self-discovery is very gradual. Like you never really fully discover yourself. Like, so in my industry, which everybody knows, you're forced to act a certain way. Certain roles determine that I have to have this hair on or have that hair on. And sometimes when my hair is out, my hair is very nappy. My natural hair is a disaster. It's so strong. And they're like, oh, you can't do this. We have to try and wrap it in and try to wear a wig. And every time they try to put on a wig, it's like swollen. So, so I'm like, but why can't I just act like this? It's the character. And most times you're like, oh no, this is about hair, is about your skin tone, every single thing. They try to just tell you, you have to look a certain kind of way. Oh no, you're this. oh no, you can't use this hair for this character. Oh no, you can't do this. But at the end of the day, I had to just own it. I'm like, this is me. You have to take all of me. So, and you know, I say for an African lady with nappy hair, there's never a bad hair day. I've not fully discovered how to take care of my hair, but I just feel like, whatever, man, it's my hair. And I feel like your hair is your signature. Once you step out with your hair, you own it. It's like a crown. I know that's like very cliche saying, but your hair is your crown. Once your hair is laid, whether with the weaves, with the braids, once you're feeling, when you have your fresh hairdo, you have this kind of vibe. You come out with so much, you know, charisma and self-esteem boost. So yeah, I've owned it a long time ago, even before I knew I was owning it. Even if I was confused along the line, I just owned it. I'm like, I started my hair journey, natural hair journey, like six years ago. And the reason why I cut my hair was just, you know, they say fear a lady that cuts her hair. I was going through a very strange time in my life, not knowing what I wanted to be in the sense of who do people say Beverly is? And it was very confusing for me because like then I was like one of the most hated Nigerian celebrities because I was so outspoken. I just used to say my mind every time. I didn't understand the entertainment lifestyle with the entertainment business. Now I'm in the entertainment business, so I understand some things. But then I didn't know all these things. This I was like 21 or 20. So yeah, over time I just started owning it. I'm like, this is who I am, and it doesn't even stop me from being, you know, who I am. And this is a lifetime journey. We're not stopping now. So we're here for a lifetime, and it's a gradual process, and I'm embracing the journey. So yeah.
Excellent. And it has not stopped her bag at all, ladies and gentlemen. She continues to gather the bags, the coins. She's done incredible campaigns for Yves Saint Laurent. She has not stopped. So the high brands. And as you can see, I mean, if you don't have the melanin, a lot of people are trying to get the melanin and everything that features the melanin. You can see that. Enough appropriation happens out there. But again, in terms of really promoting ourselves, we are the ones that have to do it. And Beverly's a perfect example of balancing exactly how to ensure that while you have to fit to a certain, a certain mold at times, she has not shied away of promoting who she is as a beautiful African, gorgeous queen. It's incredible, just incredible. So thank you so much for continuing to do that, Beverly.
Thank you.
I want to also come to you, Derek, as a being an expert and an incredible, a world-renowned celebrity stylist and expert in the industry in terms of producing products also. How do you go about when you meet celebrities like Beverly, who has the issues where she has to try to tame her hair sometimes, for lack of a better word, and continue to encourage her to celebrate who she is? How do you go about facilitating that and making that happen for her? 1 second, Derek. 1 second for me. Go ahead.
All right. The most important thing I think regarding Afro hair is to understand what hair needs. Okay, I think where sisters in the past may have had problems has a lot to do with hair care and how to find relevant products to care for your hair. Now, we were never told what actually makes your hair grow, or shall I say, what are the things that ensure that your hair it maintains its well-being. And so we encourage our clients to understand that hair needs three fundamental things. It needs moisture, it needs hydration, it needs nutrients. Now in the past, these were not relevant terms used in terms of associating what to do with the hair in terms of the style. Now I think in the past you could have gone to any shop, Boots, or any store and buy products, but these products were not designed specifically for your hair. Now we know the hair has an ecosystem. The ecosystem is simply that the hair can produce its own moisture levels, its own nutrients, and its own oils for the hair to maintain it. The thing is, when the hair create these oils and moisture and nutrients, it can cause it attracts dirt, if you like. And most of the products that are designed for Afro hair have the one fundamental thing that black hair doesn't like. It has parabens, it has sulfates. All right, so before we get into the styling stage, it's incumbent that we tell our clients that to understand those three fundamental things that we provide in our product line. So the first three things for our customers is to ensure that we cleanse their hair. And the cleansing process begins with three fundamental items. And I'm going to go there right now, guys. We ensure that our clients get the right shampoo that doesn't have the parabens or the sulfates to damage the hair. Because before we start styling the hair must be, as you said earlier on, your crown must be ready, it must be prepared, it must be facilitated. After that, we do one other thing that most customers don't do. We do a co-wash. Again, as I said, the hair has an ecosystem that it can look after itself. But the point is, all of these chemicals on the hair can cause problems. You have to cleanse it. And you can't use just about anything to cleanse your hair. So we have the co-wash. The co-wash is essentially, we bring back the moisture level to your hair. It's going to promote moisture. It promotes hydration. And before we actually begin to style the hair, we focus on the conditioner. So these three things together is what we start the journey with. And then we could talk about the cut and the style and so forth, or the blow dry. Now, I'm a cutter by nature. I love cutting hair. So whoever comes in my chair all my clients will leave my shop with a fundamental shape. We call it shape, balance, and movement. Without those three things, shape, balance, and movement, is important. It's difficult to sustain your hairstyle. And all the ladies in the shop on the platform today all have one interesting thing. There's a shape, there's balance, and there's movement to it. So as we move on in terms of maintaining the hair's well-being, we introduce to our client what we call the milk. And all the milk is really another form of moisturizing, but it stays in the hair. It's crucial that our hair gets to feed itself, to be nourished, to be maintained, to be moisturized, before we could do anything else. And I'm so happy that we have a natural movement. Because all the natural movement it's a rebirth. We've been there before.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
all the natural movement it's a rebirth, it's a renaissance. And we could go back every 100 years, there's a renaissance. We could go back to Madam C.J. Walker. We could go back to Père Toussaint. And we could come to Winston Isaacs. We come to people like Carmen England. And today to myself. So all we're saying is and that renaissance is wonderful, because what it does for the first time give Black women an opportunity to really love themselves. And Afro hair can be, because of that renaissance, we have a wonderful acronym called BLACKS. What is BLACKS? Black simply means bald, braid, locks, afro, curl, kinks, weave, and straight. Now this is, Afro hair can morph into all those different principles.
Yeah.
Right? So a woman doesn't have any problem in terms of maintaining her hair. Look at your hair, for instance. It's wonderful. It's just a big halo. I love that. It's just a halo. And as most people say, Afro hair is essentially antennas reaching up into the skies. And that's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Right?
It is about Derek. I would certainly want to pause you for a second, because I just want to help the audience also to understand that one of the things that Derek is also is certainly explaining to you guys, and tying it to what Beverly was saying when Beverly mentioned about trying to maintain and having control over hair, is that oftentimes I know for women, especially I've often heard that women who say they're going through chemotherapy and they lose their hair, and they always find it so dramatic and so traumatic to deal with. And here is a situation whereby there's a clear understanding of the closeness that women have with their hair. It's a very important thing. And I think especially for Black women, where you're faced with, the entertainment and societal pressure to have your hair all straightened all the time. I know there are quite a few women, and I'm sure Rochelle and Vinrish will be able to talk about that too a little later on, about the pressure, even as a child, where the parents, in trying to maintain the hair and have control, they would relax the hair or hot comb the hair. So one of the great things that Derek explained just now, everyone, was that the products that the Shea Moist products that he just showed just now was to teach women how to treat their hair, being able to comb their hair, how to shape their hair, and have that, and so that way you can understand, okay, my crown is not a struggle. I just need to know how to work it and shape it and wear it.
Yeah.
And wear it.
Yeah.
Rochelle, I want to come to you, Rochelle, because I want to, being, as you mentioned about that exhibition, at the Cambridge University, and being one of the key speakers and advisors in curating that exhibition, how important, tell me about the challenges it's been for you to convey this message to an audience that that are not of African heritage and don't have Afro hair, and how you go about doing that and making it as palatable for even for the person who is of African heritage.
That's a good word, Michael. Palatable. That is a very good word. You know, what's funny is that now, more recently, so most recently working as an Afro hair supervisor in theatre, so a lot of the people working around me who were white weren't like, I'm now at this stage where my hair is just mine. It's just mine. It's me. Afro hair is just so normal to me. And as crazy as that sounds, this is someone who, prior to going natural, my own hair for a very long time wasn't normal to me. I struggled to know I struggled to accept it. I struggled to know what to do with it. I just didn't think that it was up to standard when it came to what the idea of being beautiful was.
Yeah.
Flipping my mindset, and now actually just embracing myself and like, that's just so normal to me. What I found was that a lot of the things in my new line of work, I took for granted. So in terms of how our hair behaves, in terms of the needs or requirements or the things that are beneficial to our hair, or styling terms even, I took for granted when I was going into my new line of work, thinking, yeah, but that's like, everyone knows what this is, or everyone knows what that is in relation to Afro hair, or everyone knows that Afro hair needs this. And actually, no, it like, obviously to me, it's not general knowledge for a lot of people, particularly if you're not Black with Afro hair. So whereas before, prior to me reaching that point, I had learned so much over, especially in the early stages, I had learned so much that I was constantly trying to champion and inform in bite-sized chunks everybody, regardless of what race you are, but particularly, I guess, other Black women with Afro hair. My thing was, if you have a part of you that wants to really know and understand and wear your hair proudly, and you want information, then, well, you'll need information. So my thing was about getting it out there. Again, that's what the blog was about. My thing was bringing it in bite-sized chunks, in manageable chunks, in relatable ways that women could understand. Okay, my hair does need to be moisturized. Okay, there's actually, like you say, again, first start with the mindset, understanding there's nothing wrong with my hair. Like, this is how it is. My hair is not a problem. I just don't know I don't know what to do with it, because I'm so used to trying to make it do what European hair does. And if you're trying to make your hair do something, if you're trying to make a fish walk, it's not gonna work. Right? It's not what it's made to do. It's made to swim, right? So let's celebrate what it is and appreciate it for what it does. So stop trying to conform it. And so that was what a lot of the talks, a lot of events and everything like that was very much geared towards providing that knowledge and providing that acceptance. But that was always the first starting point, was making people realize there's nothing wrong with your hair. Now accept it, understand how it works, exactly like what Derek was saying. If once you understand it and get to know what it needs, and you start providing that, then you'll actually find that it works. Your hair works perfectly fine. It doesn't need taming. It doesn't, do you know what I mean? It doesn't need taming. It's not out of control. It's just yours, and you learn how to work with it and let it do what it's supposed to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely so. Venrisha, I want you to touch on that also, in terms of that your hair is supposed to do what it's supposed to do. because you are very much about in helping women, especially with tightly coiled hair, to know how to shape and make your hair do what it is supposed to do. So tell us more about that. How to get your hair to do what it is supposed to do.
Yeah, so basically that's why I think it's so important that I share the images and the videos that I do, because it's just to let people know exactly what Rochelle was saying, that your hair, that the way it is normal, and stop looking at any other type of way, a European type of way to do your hair. There are like set ways for you to do your hair, and once you know and you're educated and you have the options, it's no longer a struggle. Once you have ideas of, okay, here's a style to do, here's the products that I can use, it no longer becomes such a mystery. You know how to tackle it, and that's what I do on my page. And yeah, I really want to just share that message that your hair is fine the way it is. And I want to kind of bombard people with the image of like people with beautiful black hair, so people know, one, like they can get rid of the perception that black hair doesn't grow, because they can see images of black women with long hair. Black hair is not difficult, because you see other women who are easily styling hair that is exactly like your hair, and they're doing these beautiful styles which you can also achieve. And yeah, it's just, once you have that in front of you, it's great. So that's what I'm really pushing all the time, just in front of your face. It's just kind of like, hey, I love your hair, look at this hair, it's amazing. And yeah, that's...
Can I just say, I think Benrish is exactly right. Like, the image is so important. Like, seeing other women with hair like yours, like that's what helps people believe, oh, they can do it, I can do it too. Do you know what I mean? And it's that thing. It's that thing. Like, so seeing the image, exactly what Venuta is saying, seeing that image, and dispelling beliefs like, oh, African hair can't grow. Like, those sort of things, they really help keep you encouraged, and then they kind of prompt you to go and get more information about, okay, so what does it take to make my hair grow? Do you know what I mean? Like, when I've told in the past, I suppose, it's not the same now, but I guess in the past, when there's been experiences where you might tell a white person that, oh, I don't wash my hair every day, and they look at you like you're dirty or something, and it's like, no, if I had your hair and didn't wash it every day, then maybe I would be dirty, but I have my hair and I don't necessarily need to wash it every day, because that's not how my hair works. So it's like understanding what is good for your hair and what it needs, and then it will work with you, because that's what happens now. I find more I work with my hair rather than trying to tame it.
Absolutely. Beverly, I want to come to you also, because after I'm going to come to Rudy. Beverly, have you found, because I tell you, after we posted some of the video, the video we just showed just now, and also your intro video, whereby we introduced the audience to to the revelation that Beverly Osu was going to be on this panel today. I'm telling you, the feedback was just that, oh my gosh, she is more beautiful than with makeup. She's more, do you get that all the time, Beverly?
Yeah, kind of, they tell me, oh, you're better off without the makeup than the makeup. And that's a good thing. Apparently my career determines that I have to do my makeup, So my real life, I hardly put on makeup, but my career says you have to put makeup, because like I feel what will I say? I'm like a mannequin and like an avatar. I'm like a mannequin, so you guys can take me and put me in any form you guys want. It's just my work. But once I'm off that, I'm the canvas of so many makeup artists. Every makeup artist has something they want to do with my face somehow. And every hairstyle is same as every designer, So I've heard that all the time. But the foundation of you saying, oh, you're finer without makeup is your skin. So, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful hair, Beverly.
Thank you.
Now, Rudy, as someone who was the pioneer in starting the Afro hair shows in the UK, whether it being Afro hair, whether it being hair pieces, has there really been any change in regards to how women of African heritage perceive themselves with regards to image and the pressures from a European standard? Has there been been changed?
It's interesting, and it's interesting to listen to the perspective, because I remember with Afro Hair and Beauty, and you'll see if you go to the HairX site, it was the image of the original Afro Hair and Beauty was an African woman with, you know, what we would perceive as African features. And I remember at the time there was some pressure for us to make it much more of a mixed image. But our point at the time was 90% of our customers looked like the models. So, and it was called, and at the time, Afro being an hairstyle, but also had an African connotation to it at the time as well. We're talking about nearly 40 years ago. So it was very much an Afrocentric show in that sense, because actually, when you look at the video, you'll actually see a presentation from Ghana talking about braids, and you know, and how many, you know, hundreds of years braiding goes back in the different ceremonies in terms of women getting their hair done. But yeah, so there's always been that pressure in terms of style, and of course that will continue. There's always a new generation coming to the fore, and do need to understand. There's a lot more hair education than people realize. So a lot of time people may think that there isn't this hair education, the type of work that Derek does and other colleagues around maintenance advice, you know, that professional insight. It's always been there, but it's about, I guess, the consumer being aware of it. But then at the same time, we have to balance the reality of costs. So yes, there is a lot of DIY within the industry. There always has done, and no doubt will continue. Yeah. And that's why I think the current natural movement, as it is here in the UK, I think is really good, because it also links to the socio-economic development of the community as well. There's a strong link there. You might touch on that. Can I just go back quickly to something Derek said around particularly women? We talk about the W, so which is weaves. We also talk about the wrap, and you talk about the wig. And you touched on there, because sometimes, and why we don't make any judgments is that, one, the Sheer Moist range has got products for the scalp. So even if you are wearing some kind of protective hairdress, there's still a need to take care of the scalp, which is important. But also what we say is that we don't know that woman's journey. And you touched on it, Michael. She may have alopecia, chemotherapy, you know, going through chemo, may have lupus, may have stress in her life. And we always say that if a woman has to get up every day and face the day, whatever that is. So if it means putting on a wrap or a weave or a wig, and she goes out to face the world, that's what she does. So we don't make any judgment. But for us, in terms of Sheer Moist, she will still need to take care of her scalp.
With scalp, yeah.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to ask, touch on something that you mentioned in terms of, because you know, choosing. I want to ask you guys about Derek choosing the right wig, and someone in the asked also, is synthetic better than real hair, and is there such thing as a real hair wig? Please answer this question, Derek.
Good question, Michael, but let me just go back to the beginning. Now, education, empowerment. We use words like reclaim. It's important to bear in mind that Black women, guys, defined the concept of style aesthetics. The very first style that we know as being the very embodiment of hairstyling is the bob. The bob was created in Egypt, Africa, over 3,000-4,000 years ago. And that style was, interestingly enough, that was a wig that our ancestors made, our African ancestors made. It was a wig that shaved the entire hair off and took that shelving hair and made it into a wig. And that's why we've come to recognize as perhaps the most iconic style or wig of all times. Now, it was the only hair that they used to make that wig. If you remember the wig, Michael, everyone knows the wig. Girls, you should know the wig. It's the bob, the classic bob, worn by Cleopatra. And invariably, we've never owned that wig or that style or that bob.
Derek, 1 second. I have never worn that wig, just to let you know. I just had to put that out there. You know what I mean?
I'm referring to the sisters. The sisters know this, but so bear in mind, I think it depends on your economics. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
Wigs are not meant to be worn as, it's not meant to replace your own natural hair. It's an accessory. Yeah. So whether it's synthetic or whether it's natural, is a choice is yours. If you can afford synthetic hair, it's fine. We know the story about natural hair. People talk about natural hair coming from other people and so on and so forth, right? So the choice is yours, but the point is a wig or a weave is only meant to be an accessory. You put it on and you remove it afterwards. And there's nothing wrong with it. And nothing wrong with weaves. I love weaves, I love to see them, but bear in mind, when we wear a wig or a weave, we're not trying to emulate others. It's our style that we created in Africa thousands of years ago.
And tell us about someone who's interested in choosing a wig in terms of deciding between a synthetic wig and a real hair wig. Can you tell us?
That's my point. It doesn't matter, Michael, because the wig is only an accessory. The choice is yours. Some people like it synthetic, others like it natural. I know there's some. Yeah. Obviously, when one says natural, it's kind of vaingloriousness. You think, oh, my wig is natural, but whose hair are you wearing? Is it your own hair? It's somebody else's hair.
Indians.
I would much rather, if I was a woman, I would much rather wear a synthetic weave because it's plastic. It's an accessory. It's like a plastic coat. It's like a plastic hat, right? Why would I want to wear somebody else's hair? I am not into the natural weaves as a preference because it's not my hair. Now, as I said to you before, when I began, our African ancestors wore their own hair. They took the hair, shaved it off for hygiene purposes, and made wigs out of it. So if you're using your own hair to make a wig, that's fine. But I'd rather wear synthetic weaves as opposed to natural hair weaves if I was a woman.
But I will say something about that.
That will be once in 2 years.
That's what I will say about that also. And ladies, and back me up with this, in that what's been amazing about the wigs nowadays, that the technology is such that women are able to get wigs, even if they're synthetic, and still be able to shape them using different, whether being your roller, the curl, to blow dry and shape the wig. So it works. Especially, Beverly, tell us about in your industry whereby you're under the intensity of a lot of lights on you, which is not good for your hair. It dries you out, your skin. Do you tell us about having the flexibility of wig for you and how it, it fits in with your professional life?
I feel like wigs are actually very good for us that, on the front line of the camera. It's actually very helpful. All I do when I know I'm going on a set, all I do is to go put my hair on a cornrow and beg them to put me on any wig. Like once my hair is all cornrowed and down, I can wear any wig. So it helps the character. It protects your own hair from sun damage and everything. So yeah, the wig business is not leaving anytime soon. And guess what? Now we have braided wigs. So the things that you said before that, I can't braid, I have to braid my hair before I have the braid feel. Now we have like full-on braid wigs that you can just put on and people think you actually braided your hair from the roots. Mm-hmm. But all in all, I feel like the weaves and the wigs are actually a very protective measure for the natural hair. That's what I see it as, Yeah, and it's very important to actually, from sun, you have to cover your hair, cover your scalp.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you have different perspectives, ladies and gentlemen. It's an accessory one, but also it is also a protective way too. And it also works as a perfect way for being able to have the adaptability based on whatever it is your lifestyle is or professional life is. is very, very important. I wanted to ask you, Rochelle, as someone who's been very much in this industry and very much part of the pioneering movement in this rebirth, about your advice on how frequent, about the regularity of which a woman should wash her hair. And I'll bring that also to Derek as the hairstylist. The regularity, what do you advise women to do? And I'll bring that to you also, Venrisha.
Okay, well, firstly, so as I say, I'm a blogger, not a trichologist or a hair professional or medically trained in any way like that at all. But what I will say is that there was a quote that somebody said to me, well, they weren't quoting anybody, but they just said it to me when I first went natural, and that was kind of what triggered me to go. And they said they had locks. They had locks when I first knew them, and one day they came into work and their locks were all gone. And I was like, whoa, like, that's a big deal. Why'd you do that? And she said to me, I just want to get to know my hair. And I was like, like, what do you mean get to know your hair? And she was like, well, how are you ever going to know what your hair likes if you don't get to know your hair? So I wanted to get to know my hair. And that's why she cut off and started again. And I was like, never thought about getting to know my hair. And I would say that is the number one thing, is get to know your own hair. So I know how long I can go without washing my hair before it's not acceptable. I know how long I can stretch it out, how many days I can be lazy for before I'm like, okay, no, I can see build up, it's too much, I need to do something about it. But I also know that washing my hair, like I say, daily wouldn't work for me, not just with my lifestyle, but also I just find in terms of like stress from too much playing around with products, too much playing around with styling, or just even the scalp getting dry. I know that I can go a few days. I would say for myself with my hair, every 7 to 10 days is what I find how often I wash my hair, every 7 to 10 days. Now, for some people, it might be not enough. For some people, they might need a bit more, but I would always say get to know your own hair. But we have some professionals here, trained people. So anybody else want to add to that?
Risha, before we go to Derek, because Derek is going to go in depth in explaining that and breaking that down too. Risha, please.
Yeah, I just want to follow on from what Rochelle was saying. Like, I'm not a professional or anything, but I would say it's good to have that guideline. I think like every week, every 2 weeks is a good like guideline, but really know your hair. Like if your hair feels dry, if you're trying to put a product on it and it's not working anymore, then you might say your hair is dirty, you need to start again, you need to wash your hair. I think you should really look at that. Sometimes your hair might be in a longer protective style and you know that I'm not really fussing with it, I'm not putting a lot of product in it, I don't need to wash it, sorry. So then, yeah, you just have to really follow your hair and see what it likes. You can't like follow anyone else and see what they do to their hair. You need to know for your hair what you're doing to it daily, and yeah, that's the only way you can know.
Excellent. And the buzz sentence there, Derek, is get to know your hair. So you being the expert, the question was, how often should one wash their hair, especially for women? How often they should wash their hair, but also for men who have these big afros too. How often you should wash your hair? What determines how often you should wash your hair? Please break that down for us.
Very good point, Michael. But as I said, bear in mind, we have the acronym BLACKS. So Afro hair could be all of those 7 things. It could be bald, braided, it could be locked, it could be Afro, it could be weave, it could also be a kink. Now, every 2 weeks, for many people, that's normal. Twice a month, that's normal. But bear in mind, as I said to you before, the hair has an ecosystem. That simply means that the hair is producing its own nutrients, its own oils, its own proteins. And after a little while, those things get hard and cakey on your scalp, and it attracts dirt, debris, and germs, and all kinds of things can take place. We know what happens when your hair isn't washed frequently. It's going to smell. But it depends on the person. Some people don't do their hair wash their hair every 2 weeks or every month. So if your hair is locked, for instance, you may have a different regimen. If your hair is braided, it might be different. If your hair is straightened, for instance, if it's a relaxer, it may also be different. My relaxer clients come once a month, sometimes once every 2 weeks. But bear in mind what the hair needs. If you do wash your hair, and I think the fear for many people is if it's washed, you are removing your natural oils, your natural moisturizers. If it's washed, it's incumbent that the customer put the moisturizer back, the hydration back, and the nutrient back. Hence the reason why with the Share Moist, we provide for our clients all those elements. So the washing aspect is entirely up to you, but I think once a month, twice a month for many people is the norm.
And Derek, could you just real quickly, could you show those products again for the wash and the milk and all of those things again?
Right, so washing, as I said before, is crucial that we wash, but we must shampoo based on the fact that when you shampoo your hair, you're removing the natural oils and the natural moisturizers from the hair and the natural nutrients. So we recommend to our clients, we wash your hair once using the Share Moist shampoo. Now, it's only just once, by the way. Don't shampoo your hair too many times, because shampoos are made from surfactant. What does the surfactant do? Surfactant is like it removes the natural oils from your scalp and from your hair. So one good thorough shampoo is important, but that must be followed by a co-wash. The co-wash puts back the moisture in your hair. That's the reason why lots of sisters are scared to wash their hair, because the moisture has been removed from the hair feels dry and it feels hard and it breaks invariably. So after that co-wash, we recommend the moisturizing shampoo, and last but not least, for the washing procedure, the milk to put back the nutrient in the hair. We need nutrient, guys. We need moisture, we need hydration. That's the reason why people are scared to wash their hair frequently, because they're not sure that the hair is going to get back its nutrients. It takes 2-3 days sometimes to get that balance back, what we call the pH balance. Okay, because pH balance means the hair could be, if it's not washed, if it's a wrong product, it could be too acid, makes the hair very dry, or it could be too alkaline, also makes the hair dry. So it's crucial, guys, to have the fundamental things for your hair. And of course, what we do have for our customers who must wash their hair once a month or once or twice every month is the moisturizer. This is the food for the hair. Because as I said to you before, there's an ecosystem in your hair. The hair provides its own nutrients. But because it gets dirty, it has to be washed. So if you wash your hair or shampoo your hair, you've got to put it back. That's what makes the hair grow. Hair grows at a cellular level, guys, but it needs moisture, it needs hydration, it needs nutrients.
Yeah, and Beverly, I wanted to come to you also regarding the how you take care of your hair. You know, having do work so hard. And by the way, guys, before I say that, in addition to all of the things that Derek just said, a person's lifestyle very much affects how often they wash their hair too. Whether you say they work out all the time, their diet also might do that. So it's very important. You might have some sort of medical condition. All of that might affect you know, how often you might have to actually wash your hair. And of course, when you wash your hair, you have to treat your hair. So Beverly, I wanted to come to you in terms of you being, you know, being one of the in the entertainment industry and having to constantly changing your hair all the time. How often do you find having to, you know, get treatment for your hair, wash your hair, that sort of stuff?
Well, for my hair, I do it like sometimes once a month, sometimes in 2 weeks. But I mostly put them in a cornrow so I can wear the wigs when I'm going on set. So it's easy for me to like maneuver the wigs. But most importantly, I do the big twisting. I feel like the twisting grows the hair. Once I twist my hair, mind you, my hair can't function once it's dry. So I have to damp my hair before I can put it in any style. That's like standard. If not, yeah. If not, the hair is so stubborn, it's not going to agree. So it has to be very wet before I can fix it into any style. Even to the braiding, the cornrows, it has to be wet. So right now, I'm ready for a trim. I'm ready for steaming and trimming. You know, Derek would know more about that. But like, yeah. But yeah, I wash my hair every month. Depends on my work schedule. Every once a month, you know, we do the steaming, conditioning, and yada, 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 all those things. But right now, presently, I'm due for a trimming, a head trim, because I have a lot of loose ends. So yeah.
Now, two things I want to come back to Derek. Derek, Beverly just mentioned about trimming. How often should someone who have their natural hair get their hair trimmed?
Again, it depends on the person, but I definitely recommend at least once every month, once every 2 months. A trim is absolutely necessary, and I mean a trim, not a cut. If your hairdresser is an expert and the person understands what to do, just gently get the hair at 90 degrees, and you'll see those little dreadful ends that's sticking out. You gently trim those off to ensure that the hair remains clubbed. The ends must be clubbed at all times. And that simply means if it's not clubbed, it's going to be like a paintbrush, and that would cause split ends and break down the middle. But so to prevent that, as Beverly was saying, her hair needs to be moisturized, and it's crucial that we have something called the mystery mist. It's a healing mist. Now, our client uses it's just a mist that you maintain the moisture in your hair. So as Beverly was saying, it's crucial. In order to maintain her hair, it has to be wet. I'd rather her use the word moisturize. It should always be moisturized. It should never get too dry. So it's crucial that we say to our clients, moisturize and hydrate your hair, but ensure the scalp is constantly fed. We've got a wonderful thing called hair and scalp food. This you use every single day of the week. That combined with the Jamaican castor oil sheen spray, that Beverly would provide all the problems for you, because your hair should not be dry. You shouldn't have to wet your hair. You should keep your hair moisturized, Bev.
Okay.
And you know what I will say about that too, because one of the audience members mentioned about how she sprays her hair and uses aloe vera. So I want to ask the question: when you don't, what homemade remedies or products or stuff that you find around the garden that you can use? Like one example an audience said is water and aloe vera. Is there anything else someone at home could use in moisturizing and making sure it's keeping? Bear one second. Go ahead.
So Michael, hair grows at a cellular level. That same client, if I was her, reach out to us for the Shea Moist to maintain the hair shaft, but fundamentally get the aloe vera, blend the aloe vera and drink the aloe vera. It's much better if you can drink the stuff. It's going to go straight to the hair, the bloodstream into the hair shaft and into the hair cells, right? But don't try to make your moisturizer at home, because what tends to happen when you do that, it's lacking the moisture it needs. So reach out to us, Derek Clement, Rudy Page, get your kit, get your moisturizers, guys. But if you are going to use things from the back garden, go into the back garden, put this into your blender and drink that. That's plant-based nutrients for your hair, because hair grows at a cellular level, right? Let us do the moisturizing for you. Contact us at Shea Moist. We'll provide for you the moisturizers.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who might have needed a bit of clarity on the cellular level, mean that, guess what? Take it into the body, so it's then the nutrients then transferred, through into the cell, and then that again goes to the different hair cells, scalp, all of that stuff. Is that correct, Derek?
It's absolutely 100% correct. And there's two things to concern yourself with: the hair shaft, which is dead. The hair shaft is dead. And the hair cells within the scalp is alive. So try to get your plant-based nutrients. We're going to do this very soon, guys. Your plant-based nutrient. The hair loves intelligent. This is called intelligent nutrients, by the way. Anything green, the aloe vera is fantastic. The castor oil is fantastic. Shea butter, all those are foods, by the way, guys. All hair products are food-based. Shea butter is a food. Castor oil is a food. Argan oil, they're all foods. But if you can drink that food into your bloodstream and then into the hair shaft, you're onto a win-win situation. And reach out to us, guys, and we'll provide for the hair shaft, the maintenance for the hair shaft.
Well, Derek, I'll tell you right now, one of our audience members saying that they're going home tonight and be slurping some aloe vera. I mean,
Good idea.
Another question that we have, because as I said to some of you, to my panelists, we've had some questions coming in a week before this actual web talk, so people have been very excited about this this web talk. Venrisha, you mentioned earlier about some of the products that you guys do at Natural Hair Loving in terms of the, was it silk you said, or satin? Tell us about it.
The product that we have that we launched this year, just about 2-3 months ago, is silk scrunchies. So we're planning to like launch a whole silk line with silk bonnets, silk pillowcases, but we're starting with silk scrunchies because basically it's like the size of a hair tie, a normal hair tie. And I just wanted to start with that because we often use cotton, and cotton is a very, absorbent material, and it can really dry out your hair. And it's something that we use all the time. You don't even really think about it. You use it every day on your hair. It can be really drying out your hair. So we decided to launch our silk scrunchies we can use every day that are not as drying for your hair. And they're really cute and stylish, if I do say so myself.
Thank you. And add to that. So, and adding to that, Venetia, using such things with color and that are stylish definitely adds to, giving you a little bit of pep for that self-love. Going back to the self-love thing. Yes, yeah. Rochelle, I want to come to you regarding that also in terms of how you encourage, all these people who come to you and say, "Oh my gosh, Rochelle, thank you so much for saying what you just said. I needed that." What else do you do in terms of if someone comes and asks you about the type of stuff that they should wear on their head at night, for example? Do you know what you mean? Tell us what do you usually say to them? Or what do you use for yourself also? What do you use for yourself?
Well, this is the thing. There is as Rudy says, there's a lot of advice and information out there, and online was my first source of a lot of information. Then you have to start filtering through what's good, what's not, hey, how it works for you. So when I was super disciplined, in my super disciplined early natural days, I used to have a satin bonnet. I'm sure at one stage I invested in a satin pillowcase as well. And I was regularly putting my hair into either loose twists or plaits at night and giving it a little bit of a spritz or just moisturizing the scalp. And I would do that really, really regularly and be very disciplined just to make sure that, again, like what Derek was saying, that the hair is moisturized, that the scalp is taken care of and nurtured. I was very, very disciplined with that. Again, with the silk bonnets or silk or silk or satin head wraps or scarves or the pillowcases. So did all of that when I was very, very disciplined because, again, like Venetia said, it's like cotton is very, very absorbative, and also like, you want to reduce the friction on the hair. So, that is all stuff that you can do. But now in my current lifestyle and now just being so comfortable with my own hair, I don't have that same discipline anymore. My hair, if I'm being good in the evening, I will make sure, mostly the ends that I look after. So that's the whole point of me maybe putting it into chunky twists or putting it into braids at night. Basically just put it away safely to the amount of breakage. That is the main thing that's the main thing I try to establish doing in the evening. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't nowadays. Sometimes it just gets thrown up into a lazy top knot and the ends get tucked away that way. Sometimes it's just left loose. That's not great for the ends to leave it loose. So I wouldn't advise anyone do that. But if you are looking to grow your hair and look after it, then those ends do need looking after, and it is nice to put them away safely, whether that be with the things you use like a bonnet, scarf or pillowcase, or whether that's with the style that you choose to put it in some plaits or some twists, just something to protect those ends and not leave it loose and to get too matted in the morning.
Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, and I'll say gentlemen because it's quite the thing also for men to have very nice big afros also. You learned that don't have a cotton stuff on your head at night. It dries it out. It dries it out. I mean, it's not, and plus, it's not a nice look when you see the, the hair cords going through the cotton. I mean, I'm just saying, it can scare your partner, whosoever that, unless, that these type of things, you have to be aware of these things, I also want to ask about, actually, I'm coming to a question to you, Derek. We have someone, one of our guests who sent just a question earlier, Leslie is her name. She said that she has fine hair. She has good diet, and she takes very good care of her hair. She used to wear wigs, but she prefers her natural hair. And she finds that, that whenever she washes her hair, it shreds a lot. So she wanted to know what else can she do for that?
So if Leslie, hi Leslie, if the hair is shedding, again back to moisture, hydration, nutrient. We have 5 different kits in our company. We have the rejuvenation kit, we've got the maintenance kit, we've got the curly kit, we've got the men's kit, we've got the children's kit, we've got the braid and lock kit. Now, the kit has all the things she needs for her hair. The hair would need moisture if it's breaking, if it's shedding. It's breaking because there's no moisture, there's no nutrient, and there's no hydration. It's crucial that the hair is hydrated. Hydration is crucial for your hair, and that comes with the Jamaican castor, with the castor milk to hydrate that hair. And fundamentally, what I say to clients whose hair is breaking, it's lacking nutrient. We have a wonderful product from Zimbabwe. It's from the baobab plant. It has 7 times more vitamins in this for your hair. The hair needs nutrient. The scalp, the mid-length, the hair ends, as Rachel just said, the ends need loving. So we've got this wonderful thing called the treatment. This is a hair and scalp treatment. It's for the hair ends, to ensure that the hair ends is loved, it's nourished, it's moisturized, it's fed. Crucial.
And Derek, you mentioned something that was so important, and whereby in terms of the breakage. So while, to add a bit of clarity there, and correct me if I'm wrong with this, Derek, is that while she's washing here, she's seeing the shredding, Derek is mentioning that, before the washing, what she's doing, that she's not moisturizing her hair before, and that's causing, that could possibly be one of the reasons why she's having the breakage.
It's snapping off.
That's right. But also at the same time, correct me if I'm wrong, Derek, or shed some light on this. If a person washes their hair too often, could that also contribute to the breakage?
Yes, because you are depleting the hair of its natural moisture and that ecosystem that the hair provides. It's crucial. But bear in mind, you're supposed to lose 50 strands, if not more, 70 at most, per day. Your hair is like a tree. It's falling out constantly, but it's been replenished constantly. So to replenish that hair, you have to provide those 3 fundamental things: moisture, nutrient, hydration. That comes with it. That's in our Share Moist range. So another thing, if the hair is breaking off, perhaps she needs to boost her immune system, and perhaps there's something called biotin. It's a hair growth enhancer. She could go to Boots or perhaps to a good health shop and buy the biotin, because the hair is lacking food, nutrient, moisture, hydration. That's why it's breaking. But bear in mind, you have got to lose 50 strands or more every day. There's nothing wrong with your hair breaking. It's normal. It's part of the growing pattern. Nothing wrong with that. And
any advice? We have some people who, I remember back in the days, my sisters, I have wonderful sisters, beautiful sisters, and they're always talking about, and my beautiful mother. And, you know, they always, I remember at one point, my sisters would always say that after, you know, they have big, long hair and thick hair, and they would always say that if they've been treating their hair for too long, or their hair, they find that it weakens the hair and they tend to lose it. But the minute they start allowing their hair to be much more natural, and they braid their hair, that the hair grows back. Is there truth in that?
Very good point. Sometimes you have to leave your hair. Hence the reason why the natural movement is such a wonderful rebirth. It's a great renaissance, because we're going back in time. Because the thing, when you straighten your hair, unfortunately, you've got to work that hair. You've got to flat irons, you've got to use your GHDs, you've got to use your curling irons and rollers, and all those pressure brought to bear on the hair can cause breakage. We see in Black women, there's a very common thing for Black women. There's something called CCCA, where the hair breaks at the crown. Right, your crown, we see lots of, and invariably women who use on medication, if you're taking high blood pressure medication, it will break your hair off, because the blood pressure medication, like most medication, they are calcium blockers. Most medications will block the medication is an interesting thing, and the body's interesting. If the medication is in disagreement with you, the hair is going to block the nutrients from going into the hair cells, and your hair will break. I hope she's not suffering from, I hope she's not on high blood pressure medication, because it can cause breakage.
So when you mentioned about calcium blockage, does it also help that if a person get extra calcium supplements also to help the
hair needs tons of nutrients, because the hair is actually protein, Okay, there's tons of nutrients, there's vitamins. And if you notice, most products will tell you that there's vitamins in them. Most creams are vitamins. So the hair thrives in vitamin, but it thrives most of all on nutrient. Most hair products are nutrient. Lavender, all hair growth enhancers. Castor oil, hair growth enhancers. Shea butter, all of these are hair growth enhancers. So it's important to ensure that the product you use got all those natural nutrients in them. They're all plant-based. The hair loves plant-based. The hair loves antioxidants. The hair loves intelligent nutrients. So hence the reason why I said to my clients, blend the stuff in your hair, but ensure that you take into your body nutrients for your hair, because hair grows on a cellular level. And you need to protect your hair, of course, by using the right stuff on the outside of the hair shaft.
So you're also saying, Derek, correct me if I'm wrong, that by as much as you have all this topical treatment to your hair, spraying all this stuff in there, if your diet is an important part of ensuring that you have nice, strong, healthy hair, and also being aware that whatever medication you're taking, which could also be is certainly something to be considered when you think of losing your hair and weaken hair. And is that correct?
Tell you that this may be this particular medication will inhibit your hair growth. It won't tell you that. And how could you tell a patient that? Because the medication's job is to ensure that the person gets her well-being back. And so your hair isn't important in terms of getting your well-being back. But that said, it's an oxymoron, if you like. It's a kind of conundrum. In one breath, it's going to help you to get back, but it's going to attack the hair. So it's crucial that customers ensure that they use the right things on the hair. But it's vital to make sure that if you can, if it's possible, do focus on the things like biotin to ensure that your hair is well fed on the inside. It's absolutely crucial, Michael.
Key guys, biotin, and you can pick that up from your local chemist also. Biotin.
But you can make it yourself, Michael. As your friend,
hold on one second, Derek, because that's a key thing. You can make biotin yourself. You heard it here first. For those of you who didn't know, you hear it here first. Derek, can make biotin. Tell us.
Just give us a recipe.
I know.
I like that, Beverly. Yes, man. Look, everything, it's right there in front of you. You've got your avocado, brilliant for the hair. Avocado has tons of bees. The hair love the bees. Avocado, crucial. Of course, things like you need your oils. Drink your oil, preferably if you can, rather than use the oil in your hair. Drink the oils first. Castor oil is crucial. All the oils are very good. Coconut oil, brilliant for the hair. And use oils that's indigenous to your country. Don't go, no battery. Don't go drinking other people's oils, like olive oil. It would not help your hair. Coconut, use oils that's indigenous to your own country. I promise you.
Derek, I will say something about that, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Derek, one of the key importance about using oil that's indigenous to your country, is that because your body is already used to, accustomed to having that oil, the nutrients that comes from that oil in your body, so it's a natural thing for it to be much more responsive to oils that come from your country. Like from the Caribbean, coconut oil is a huge thing. I know in Nigeria and across Africa, but particularly Nigeria, palm oil is a big thing also. Is that correct, Beverly?
Yeah, coconut oil is very huge in Nigeria, like everywhere. Coconut oil and almond oil, it's really big. Yeah. So
hearing those important things, I know, and oftentimes you hear that a lot of the older generation, they'll tell you that, look, they don't use all the other parts, they use the olive oil, coconut oil, that's what they put in their hair. And of course, there is the issue, and I'm sure some people are going to ask about this also in terms of, by the way, guys, before I say that, if audience, if you look in your chat also, you will find that there's, Rudy, the co-founder of HairX, who's also one of our panelists, is putting some fantastic information in the chat regarding the oils, palm oil, almond oil,
Yeah.
coconut oil, castor oil, all that stuff. So
Flaxseed.
that's right, flaxseed oil. So or the older generation, if you notice, lots of them still have very thick hair, full hair still, because they've been using their natural oils. They're not going out there and using stuff that's, you know, that's foreign to them and foreign to their scalp. You know, it's very, very important. Yes, Venrisha, you going back to you in terms of helping to encourage women to find the right style for their hair, right? Find the right style. The styling your hair also depends on the length of your hair. What else does it depend on? Tell us about that, please.
Okay, so styling your hair, I guess it would depend, yeah, on your length, on the thickness of your hair, on the type of curl pattern you have. But you can really do any style, I guess. I guess some people are just like, oh, my hair is not thick enough for this puff style or for this twist style. But I think that you can try and adapt any type of hairstyle to suit your texture, your length. If you're looking for a new style, just look on our Natural Hair Loving page. We have so many different influencers that have styles there. If you look on our blog as well, and you can find somebody that has, you know, your hair length, your thickness, and you can adapt that. So I would say if you're looking like, if you're just starting, trying to find a style, just keep it simple. You can wear your hair out. You can just try a puff, you can try twists or braids or cane rows, cornrows, whatever people call them. Yeah, just go for something simple. And as you get more experience with your hair, you can kind of work your way up.
Yeah.
Or if you're not used to styling your hair daily, maybe you can try a longer protective style like braids, like with extensions or twists with extensions. But yeah, just start simple and work your way up, I would say.
Absolutely. And Rochelle, you one of the things you said that was so important is get to know your hair. Get to know your hair. And Derek talked about mentioned about how medication, how important it is to when you're taking medication to do your research on your on the medication, the side effects, and what it can do in terms of how it could affect your hair also. Rochelle, can you tell us a bit more about getting to know your hair?
Yeah, so you know what, talking about that, what popped to mind as well when you mentioned the lady with the shedding, one of the things I found, and again going back to what Derek was saying about like the hair, I've never heard it termed as an ecosystem before, but I totally take on board what you're saying, because I find that we see our hair works in cycles, exactly as what you've been telling us. And there are certain seasons where you will shed more hair than other seasons. And so again, it's getting to know your hair, knowing when that season is that you might actually be shedding more hair than other seasons, and that's something to monitor. Like for me personally, I find that as the seasons change from winter into spring and from autumn into winter, those are the two key times when I find that I lose the most amount of hair, or that I have the most amount of shedding. But the rest of the time, I don't really have as much as that. But that's because our body responds to both the external environment, and it has our own internal cycles, exactly as like what Derek was saying. So, but without getting to know your hair, that takes time to learn that. Obviously, like I've had to watch my hair over the process of at least a year to be able to see, oh, it's shedding more here and less there. So it takes time to watch and monitor and get to know your hair. And then you can know what it may need more of. So I know in those particular seasons of the year, those are the times where I need more nutrients. And if I'm being really good, then I will take that, exactly as Derek said, like I will take vitamins internally to help support my hair, because I know it needs more support during that time. So again, it's getting to know your hair, and even getting to know your hair with styling is what Venrisha was saying. It's a similar thing, like you say, depending on length, depending on your hair texture, getting to know your hair is what's going to be most beneficial for you. So for me personally, on social media, I don't follow a lot of Instagram pages that have of women who don't have hair like mine. So exactly like what Venrisha was saying, I prefer to follow pages where the ladies have thicker, tighter curls, more 4C type of curls, because that's what I can relate about. Yeah, and then I can actually see what's more possible with my hair. It doesn't really benefit me to follow someone with looser curls, because I'm going to just upset myself trying to emulate something that my hair doesn't do. It doesn't do the same thing as them. I'd rather do what my hair can do and make that look good. And in the early days, I always found, when I can flat twist, for example, it took time to get to learn to flat twist. Before I could flat twist, I had to learn to just roll and pin and play around with those styles. Just roll, tuck, pin, roll, tuck, pin. Very, very, very basic. But as I got more confident just doing that, I'd be more confident to try the next thing. And so again, simple stages and playing with your length and getting to know your hair at each stage that it's going to be at.
Yes, Rochelle, I thank you so much for that. That's very, very important what you just said. Derek, I want to come to you because we have, you know, we do have that issue. Like Leslie also asked just now. She said, and before I said that, Rochelle, what you said just now about not following, you know, certain Instagram pages that are about natural hair, but the curl, the hair is not like yours. That is frustrating. Because you find that, guess what? That's not my hair, and I'm me trying to figure out how to get my hair to grow, and it's not growing like that. It's because it's totally different. So this goes back, brings me to Derek, whereby how does it? Someone's find that they find difficulty in their hair growing. What can one do?
Right, back to Rochelle's point. I love that concept. I love that. For me, that's the definition of self-loving and not self-loathing. I love that. The point is, if you're self-loving, and which hinges on the natural hair movement, because the natural hair movement simply means it's a rebirth, it's a renaissance. It's time to start afresh, to reflect on what your hair really is. It's not about shapes either. It's about living your hair, letting your hair be. Okay, and don't bother yourself if your hair, look, different people hair grows at different lengths based on their ethnicity, based on their whole makeup, the mixture, the mixes, or whatever the case may be. Now, my daughter's hair is down her back. All my 3 girls got long hair. It's not because they've got good hair. The point is, they've allowed the hair to just be. And that's the beauty of the natural hair movement. You're not emulating others. In the past, as a younger hairdresser, I was asked by many of my clients, Derek, can I have a Lady Di? Derek, can I have a Farrah Fawcett? Derek, can I have a Marilyn Monroe? But today with the natural movement, just let your hair be. Right, so at the end of the day, hair grows at different lengths, depends on your hair. If your hair grows just to your hair, that's your hair. Deal with it, just leave it.
And Derek, and that is your good hair. The person all the way down to the bottom, that is their good hair. So there's no such thing as good hair because the hair goes all the way to your bottom or the hair is straight. That is your hair. Get to know your hair.
Absolutely. And that's the very definition of the natural hair movement. Whatever you bring to the table, enjoy it, love it, live it.
Thank you. Beverly, you were going to say something just now too that you wanted to chime in there, please.
No, I'm just agreeing to what Derek has said and what every other person has said, because getting to know your hair is key. Everybody has different ways to take care of their hair, depending on hair growth, hair length, you know, hereditary. You know, my hair is not going to look like some chicata's hair in the Spanish movie. You know, it's not going to be all wavy when I pack it into a bun. I can't achieve that. Never will I achieve it. So, you know, see people that you can easily relate to it and style your hair. I know what works for my hair. Is it I let it just go, or I pack it up, or I twist it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, someone asked, can the panelists recommend a simple starter kit to be able to style hair? Including hairpins, grips, proper combs, etc. Beverly, I'm going to start with you, and I'll come to that. Beverly, simple starter kit to be able to style your hair. Say you're leaving work, you're leaving your home, and you are rushed. I know, because your life is so demanding, and you're running from here, there, and everywhere because of your job. What is your little essential starter thing that you have with you all the time for your hair?
Okay, I have a spray can with a leave-in conditioner and a little bit of water. That's what I do. And like on the go, I just spray and comb while I'm driving, which is very bad, but like, yeah, just to let it out. So when I get there, they can help me with the twisted or whatever they want to. Or a night before, I turn it into like 4 bucks or 5, and then I braid it so tightly. Then I moisturize and I just keep it in like a bonnet so that, you know, the next day I can just let it out. But every time I let it out like this, it gets so dry. So yeah, starter kits, you know, have the right combs. I learned that so late. Oh my God. I learned the combs so late. I had combs that were cutting my hair every time, but I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know. But you see, have the right combs and have your spray bottle is very important. I think like that's all I can actually really say. With your leave-in conditioner on the go, you never go wrong with that.
Beverly, with someone your texture here, because I do know that your texture here also is different from Rochelle and also from Benrisha. So what comb have you found that is good for your hair?
I'll bring it. 1 minute.
No, Rochelle, I want to ask you your starter kit, your little starter kit.
So my starter kit, for if we're talking about, so the question is for styling here. So we're not talking about like overall hair care. Ah, Beverly's back. Holy yes,
yeah,
I want
Beverly's
that one.
back.
Three-pronged one. I want that. I have not got one of those.
One.
Yes,
okay.
that's the one I want in my life.
But pause 1 second, Rochelle. Go ahead, Beverly, to show us those combs close up, please. We need those close up. Not me per se, obviously, but you know.
It's like everybody's favorite. And this one for putting it on cuts, this is like a wooden comb. It's very sharp. This can go through any type of texture and make a part. This can create any part you're looking for. It goes straight into the scalp and makes it properly clean for you to see it. This is magical. I promise you. And it's very affordable.
Okay. But remember, guys, we don't want to go into the scalp, but brushes gently caresses the scalp. I'm just saying. Be aware of that. Be aware of that.
We did this for division so that you can comb.
Yes, yes. Now, Rochelle, tell us what you're about to say, Rochelle, about your starter kit, please.
So mine is basically for me to sort of think about my starter kit for styling. So this isn't overall hair care, but just for styling, I think about it in terms of if I were going on holiday or spending if I'm going to be away from home for a short term. So one of the things, a comb, exactly like a comb, excuse the state of my stuff at the moment, but a comb, but I would say Beverly's combs are the one. Beverly's combs are definitely the one. And a brush. I always like a brush. For me, I don't know if you can see, I just use my brush, so apologies about statement, but I don't know if you can see, I always take out every other row of the brush, and it moves through my hair a lot easier. It's a bit like a wide tooth comb in that sense.
Rochelle, pause for a second. Show that brush again. So what do you do with that brush?
Regular brush, but every other row I've taken out. I've removed every other row from every row of teeth I've removed. And
why is that?
Oh, wow.
And it's a lot more, moves with my hair a lot better. Again, that's how it works better in Afro hair, is to have a bit more space, you know what I mean? So I would say I like to have my brush. I like to have a comb, if possible, just in case. I might have a soft brush as well. And the main thing is a leave-in conditioner for me. Whatever happens, I will put a little leave-in conditioner in a little travel size something. And in case, I will always also have my Eco Styler gel. That is why I always have as well. So just in case I can't decide on how to do it and I want to look it back, I have that. And if I can do a little magical with a spritz in it, it can either just be water and then I'll use a leave-in conditioner on top to give it a light spritz. But basically, leave-in conditioner, spritz, and a gel. That way I know that whatever I decide to do in my hair the next day, I'm pretty much covered. And then, like I say, a brush.
Benrisha, your starter kit?
Yeah, I'm basically the same. I think like every natural's hair care is like the same. So first thing, number one is my spray bottle. And I have like one of those misty ones. Like that's the best spray bottle ever, really. Okay. And so your head doesn't get like super, super wet, just, you know, a little bit damp. That's the one that I like. So that is like my go-to. Then I have a wide tooth comb, or even recently I've been using my fingers, to be honest, to disentangle my hair, because I can feel all the knots with my fingers really easily, more than any tool. So I've been using that. And yeah, a leave-in conditioner. My favorite brand, just to throw it out there, is Camille Rose Naturals. They are like so good, black-owned brand and very moisturizing product. With my leave-in conditioner and water and just a comb, that's all I need. I could just be done with that. That's all you need. Just keep your hair moisturized. That's like my favorite tools.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Venetia. And Venetia, you said something just that was so important. Oh, that in terms of when you spray the hair, you have to be careful that you don't. It is just to moisturize, but not to get it all wet, because then you will find it yourself, the smell that comes from it, and then you're forced to wash your hair more often. So you have to be careful of having the spray bottle is not one that's going to pour water out, but lightly spray the hair. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you just you can get your hair wet, but it's just gonna take a really long time to dry.
Mm.
So you wouldn't want to get soaked every single time you're trying to style your hair. You just want it to be wet so your hair is more flexible. So you're not kind of like breaking the hair as you're trying to manipulate it into a new style. You want it just to be very soft and flexible. That's why you just want it a little bit damp.
I think it totally depends on what style it is that you're saying, Venetia, that you want to create. Because if you want to have like a super defined twist out, you're not going to want to spritz it, because you're going to you know what I mean? But if you want something with a bit more body, and if you're planning to recreate a style and it needs more movement and motion, like to be able to get it into that style, then you are going to want to moisturize it and just spritz it a little bit. Oh, and also, as the lady said, hair bands as well.
Yeah, strong hair bands.
Hair bands, not flimsy ones. Hair bands and hair clips. Definitely going to check out Venetia's
the silk.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? What is it again, Venetia? The silk one. Say that again. The silk one. What is it?
Yeah, so check out our silk scrunchies. I should have thrown that in there. I use them all the time. They're like perfect. They stretch literally all the way to like the size of your head. They don't break, you know, like all other hair ties break, and they're really soft and gentle for your hair. Can create a pole.
Can you create a scrunchie that would wrap around my forehead that will help me when I work out, that the sweat doesn't run down my eyes? I'm asking for myself and for a friend, just in case. Let me. Derek, your starter kit, please.
Ladies, do not use naked water on your hair. You need moisture. Don't say wet, say moisture. Say
moisture.
Hydration, right? And also don't use wet, because water in London is extremely hard. So you need to add moisture. Hence the reason why we've got the milk, and the kit would be the moisturizing kit. You love this. Great concept. Can you see that? Wonderful food. And for combs, my ladies, combs, a nice big white tooth comb for your hair, nice and big and large. Okay, but the point is, it's a natural movement. Let your hair be. Crucial. You guys all said the same thing. You're perfectly right. Every one of you said moisture. Every one of you said moisture. That's what the hair needs. Don't just wet it with water. The water is far too hard, and there are far too much pesticides in the water. You need to bring to the water, you need to bring to the hair the nutrients. The nutrients, the milk, the moisturizers, the mist. And so here's the kit, ladies. For the customers on looking at this, we need to get the kit. And in the kit, you've got everything you need, minus the comb. And this would be your maintenance kit, ladies, your maintenance kit. But there's also one for guys. It's called K77 kit for men, so you can buy for your boyfriends. But it's crucial, and as I said, a must for all the ladies of the kit: food for the scalp, and food for the shaft. Crucial.
Yeah. By the way, one thing, one of our audience members, Angela Briggs, says that she's a wig wearer and she's been using the Sheer Moist products, and it's amazing. So, and by the way, and don't just buy for your boyfriends, buy for your husbands, and also buy for your coronavirus dates via dating apps. Don't forget, you can always send something over by Uber. You never know, it might help.
Michael, stick a pin. I'm glad you said coronavirus. Remember, guys, we're living in a time where there'll be lots of fallouts. Protect your hair shaft at all costs. Protect your scalp at all costs, because we've moved into an age where there'll be lots of fallouts, guys. Remember that. So protect your scalp, protect your hair shaft, and protect your immunity, your immune system. All right?
Very important. Derek, I'm going to break that down a bit. Also, Derek says, protect your scalp, protect your hair shaft, and protect your immune system. Immune boosting, you have to get your nutrients, everybody. That also helps in protecting the hair, scalp, and the hair shaft. So you have to think about all of that. So in addition to nutrients that you take in, you also have to think about the nutrients that you topically place on your hair. Very, very important. So
Michael, it's holistic. It's a holistic approach. Mind, body, and soul. It's important to ensure that all of those things are in equilibrium.
Absolutely. And Derek, someone asked, is it okay to comb your hair when your hair is wet?
That's the purpose. The hair needs moisture. Just remember, when a baby is born, that hair is wet. It's not dry. When the baby comes out of that sack, it's soaking wet. So, of course, if it's moisturized, the hair should be moisturized. Look, listen, my beard is moisturized constantly with our hair and scalp food. Look at it, guys. This is it. It goes into my hand. It disappears like this. It's not thick. It's not heavy. And it goes onto my beard just like this. And you can see, Michael, lovely, nice and shiny girls. Get this nice for you.
Derek, I'm going to stop you right there for a second because Derek mentioned something very important. It's not just about the hair on your head, it's also the hair on your face. Gentlemen, girls are turned people with beard, with men with beard that look like they should be Brillo to be washing pots. I'm just saying. Right, Beverly? Yes or no, Beverly?
Yeah.
Beard gang. No battery. No battery.
Beard gang.
Derek, someone asked, is it all right to use black soap to wash your hair in place of shampoos?
I love the black soap. We have a black soap shampoo right here in our kit. We use black soap all the time. It's from Africa. It's our thing. That's brilliant. Whoever said this, I've got it. I'm going to show it to you. We have the black soap shampoo. Derek,
your camera, your video is off for some reason. We need that black soap thing that you're just about to show us. Please. There you are. We have you again, Derek. Where's the black soap?
Give me the black soap. We have black soap shampoo for guys and for ladies. We've got the entire range, guys. We've got multiple things in our range. Shampoo, right down to hair food, and ultimately, guys, to the supplement. Ultimately, the supplement. So the black soap, where's the black soap? We've got the black soap. This is my black soap, guys. This is our black soap shampoo.
And it goes back to what Derek was saying also, guys, ladies and gentlemen, about using the stuff that's indigenous to your country, because then, and by this, I'm not saying, and help me here also with this, Derek, you were of African heritage, born in the UK, but you have not been using the products that's in Africa, the part of Africa that your family is from. Guess what? You might not, those products, that oil might not necessarily work for you. Try it, because you never know. But it is indigenous to where you were born and what you've been used to in your life growing up. That's what Derek is talking about, and that's very, very important. That being said, as Rochelle, Beverly, and Venerisha and Derek said, get to know your hair. So sometimes it's a trial and error type thing, but really you have to get to know your hair. So if you take anything away today from here, today is get to know your hair. Before we close out, I want to ask all of you to please share your social media handles. How can someone reach you? It's very important, because in addition to, I want you all to work together. I really want you all to get to work together. I want people are really curious to know how to reach each and every one of you, because the information you shared today has just been incredible. So Beverly, how can one reach you?
Well, on all social media platforms is at Beverly_Osu, at Beverly_Osu on all social media platforms, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and yeah, what's the next social media? But all, right, yeah. Oh, all social media platforms, Beverly_Osu. So that's OSU, just my name.
Thank you, Beverly. Beverly's amazing. She's doing an incredible thing, guys. You definitely want to be following Beverly, and we will continue to work very closely with you also, Beverly, because we do, in addition to Africa Fashion Week London, we have Africa Fashion Week Nigeria, and we continue to do all we can here at Africa Fashion Week London to promote self-love and understanding that self-love comes from embracing who you are, and that's really important.
Yeah.
as a woman of as African heritage, woman of African heritage, man of African heritage, understand that whatever the manifestations of that might be, how that is expressed, you must embrace it, because if you start embracing how beautiful you are, people will definitely see your true beauty. Rochelle, how can one reach you?
Right, so my Twitter and Instagram and all those social media handles is at Crystal Afro. So at Crystal Afro.
Thank you.
The blog is unitedkingdom.com.
Say the name of the blog again, please.
The United Kingdom, as in kinky hair, the unitedkingdom.com.
Oh, did you hear that? That was very important.
Kingdom. So that's the K-I-N-K.
That is important.
O-M.
So if you go to the unitedkingdom.com as the country, you will not find her. You have to go to the United Kingdom. Kingdom.
K-I-N-K.
K-I-N-K-dom, the United Kingdom. And that's a very, I love the name of that that blog.
I swear, I love it.
Oh, very, very good. Benrisha, how can one find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Natural Hair Loving on Instagram, on Facebook, Pinterest, and you can shop our silk scrunchies on naturalhairloving.com.
Excellent. Derek, please tell us how we
Very simple, www.hairex.uk.
Excellent. Rudy, go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, we're everywhere. We're on every social media platform. www.hairex.uk.
And by the way, everyone, HairX is our official hair partners at Africa Fashion Week London. So we're very, very happy to have them on board, and they've just been incredible. You can also find them continue to do incredible work at the Museum of London also, and they have these in HairX will definitely be in touch with Beverly, Rochelle, and Benrisha. All your support is important in helping to take this movement even further, using the knowledge and resourcefulness of the pioneers in the industry, and using the incredible influence and reach of the influencers today. So it's important to stay connected. Rudy.
Yes.
Any last words for us, please?
Yeah, what I'd like to say, I've been very impressed with our fellow panelists. And definitely look forward to working with you, and we'll make sure that we put all your social media contacts on the HairX website on the homepage and link it direct to yourselves. And it's for us, it's a great feeling to know that you've got that high level of confidence, self-awareness, and that focus in terms of within our culture, regardless, as I put on the chat there, heritage has no boundaries. So regardless of where we're from, then, there's a heritage that we can protect and sustain.
Yeah.
And I hope very much as well that that you will look into how you can train the next generation, so that those youngsters who are 15, 20 years, 30 years younger than yourselves, just to bring them back into understanding as they make their way in this world, their hair is important, it's an integral part of who they are, and they don't need to use anyone else's hair. They really don't.
That's amazing that you said that, Rudy. I thank you so very much, and that brings us to exactly why this web talk was so important. This is why Africa Fashion Week London put this web talk together to remind young girls and young men out there that in changing the narrative of what beauty is, it has to start with us. It has to start with us embracing our incredible, beautiful African features. And it's great to have every single one of you, HairX, Beverly also of the Bev brand, Russell Brooks Ford of Crystal Afro, Benrisha Greenswood of the Natural Hair Loving, continue to do exactly what you guys are doing, and understanding that you guys are truly the voices that are helping to change things, and you continue to encourage others to do exactly the same thing. So thank you all so very much for being part of this panel today. We appreciate you so much. Thank you on behalf of Princess Wonke Adam Louis, the founder of Africa Fashion Week London, Africa Fashion Week Nigeria. I know she's tuned in, and she thanks you all so much. So I just want to say a huge, huge thanks. Thank you all. Have a lovely afternoon. We will be in touch. Beverly, thank you for being here. And despite your very hectic schedule, thank you for being here. The same for you, Rochelle, Benrisha, Rudy, Derek. Thank you all so very much.
you.
Audience, thank you all for tuning in. Oh, someone said something just now. Denise Kerr said to all of you, excellent webinar. So thank you. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely afternoon, everybody. Goodbye. Thank you all so much.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.